This is the 2022 commentary of Cave of Treasures. This is highlighting the progress from 2021 to 2022. Currently crawling into the main lead of Cave of Treasures. This is where the dig tray is mainly used to bring sediment out from the other passages. And this here is the first larger room in the cave. And this is where all the passages kind of branch off from. First, we'll be going into the passage known as the lead off the lead, because this is a new passage that we just found last winter of 2022. Standing height, I'm about 6'5", and I'm able to stand up in here easily. We're not sure if it continues. This is what it currently, the passage to lead off the main lead looks like. No sculpting, no, it's just this room was filled to the ceiling with dirt, clay, and sand. It's kind of a tight squeeze to get in and out of, but it's manageable. Now we're entering where all the other passages are. This way is the first lead passage, and over this way is the second and third. But we're going to go down the first lead. The cave is relatively dry. It's June 9th, 2022. It's a little damp and mucky, but there's currently no standing water. I can handle mud, but 2-3 inches of water I'm not dressed for. This is currently the end of the first passage. Last winter we discovered it forks at the end of the first lead. Both passages seem to be going leads. The one on the left, we believe, wraps around to the passage off the passage, the first one that we discovered last winter. We believe this one will wrap around and connect. This is the right fork in the first lead. Has a pretty good sized room. And it might have another 2 passages, or it might end up just being one, but it's a very wide dirt dig front here. But as you can see straight ahead, in the right fork or the first lead, we got going passage with a lot of breakdown layers. That's one of the things in this cave. We're having to do numerous safety checks because, as you can see, there's very large chunks of block of rock that has to be removed. And for the public to safely use a cave like this, these blocks have to be removed, because if somebody would have You know, a rock this big straight ahead fall on you, it would not be good. This cave was discovered about 6 years ago by some WSS cavers. It was 20 below zero outside, and when it gets that cold outside, caves will actually breathe outwards, so you'll see the steam actually coming out where there's a possible cave entrance. And that's how this cave was discovered. Okay, we're going down the second lead. Now it branches into the third, but we're going to take the second lead. These two passages do get smaller. You got to do more of a firmly crawl on your side. Most passages in this cave are about 2 to 3 feet wide and about 3 to 4 feet high at most. We do have a few dome rooms, like we're coming into in the second lead here. I will stand up into it very soon, but if you look ahead, this is a pillar that's straight ahead, and it just wraps around. This is the main lead. This is the wrap around the pillar. Okay, I'm standing up into the biggest dome in Cave of Treasures. I'm about 6'5", and I can stand up comfortably in here with at least 2 feet of clearance above my head. Sitting down just to give you a visual of the dome. This is the wraparound on the pillar into the second lead. It's a rare feature in caves. But because the caves were glacially filled and locked up for so many years, most of the pillars were able to survive all these years because there wasn't a constant flow of water undercutting the rock in here. This is just looking around the back of the pillar. Straight ahead here in the second lead. It starts curving to the left. We think this might join up with the first passage also. And then off to the right, we have another pillar, and this pillar and passage actually connects back to the third passage. This is the other side of the pillar that connects the second and the third passages together. This is the end of the second passage that wraps off to the left, and as you can see, lots of going passage ahead. This doesn't have as much fall down. It's more just sediment packed. Just catching my breath here. Another question people ask is, why is this cave not gated like the rest yet? Well, the answer to that is this cave doesn't have any formations yet that we've found. This cave was glacially filled right up to the ceiling, so it actually, currently where we're at, it actually prevented like anything big for formations to actually grow in this cave. But in the future, if it gets too expansive, or if we find formations, it'll probably end up getting gated at that point. But until then, it's open to the public 24/7, 365 days out of the year to enjoy. Sorry for the breaks in the commentary. I'm crawling army style and I'm losing my breath. This is a fork off at the end of the third passage. This one actually heads towards Tartarus, but it's a dead end. We don't believe it goes any further, but it's only a few feet from Tartarus Cave. Now we're going down the rest of the third passage. This is the narrowest and the smallest. It's only about 2 feet wide and probably 2 to 3 feet, some places 4 feet high. Strictly army crawl for most. So this is the end of the third. These two areas, these two pockets, we thought maybe we're going passages, but they're dead ends. This the end of the third lead has 2 pillars. So Cave of Treasures currently has 4 pillars in it. Here's the back side of this one. And then this here is the start of the back side of the pillar from the second passage, which you can see straight ahead. It's about a 10-foot crawl from the third passage into the second. And then here's the back side of the passage of the pillar. As you can see, it's quite small. I will not attempt to go through that one. I think this is a very cool cave. that it has so many winding passages, and you know, it winds around so much you can't really get bored of it. You know, you just kind of keep going. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what the future holds for this cave down the road. We're heading back out up the third passage. Squeeze my way through. This cave dries out considerably in wintertime and gets pretty cold. It's too small yet to really hold its own atmosphere. It may hold the atmosphere if we put a gate on it, but like I said, we don't want to at this point yet, to give the public something to enjoy in the park. And we're coming out, we're passing the second, and then we'll be bouncing into the main lead here pretty soon. This last winter we probably gained well over 100 feet of new passage in this cave. Volunteers are always welcome. Doesn't matter if you're a caver or not. There's always cavers that will be at digs, and they're more than happy to teach you the ropes if you're interested, if caving's your thing. This is the main lead now. This is where the cart runs to take the sediment out of this cave. We're back out. So until next spring or summer, depending on when the water recedes in here, we'll see you next year in Cave of Treasures.